Charleston White is back at it again, stirring up controversy in the hip-hop world, this time setting his sights on Rick Ross by claiming the Miami mogul is so broke he had to sell his masters, but is now somehow looking to buy 50 cents, an idea so ridiculous that White couldn't help but mock it publicly. What started as another one of Charleston's signature rants quickly turned into a full-blown feud, and things escalated even further when he was allegedly ambushed and attacked by a group of unidentified men, sparking wild speculation that Ross might have had something to do with it, though there's no solid proof to back up the claims. The drama began when Charleston White, known for his unfiltered opinions and willingness to say whatever is on his mind, took to social media to call out Rick Ross in a scathing rant. He laughed at the idea that Ross, who he claimed was financially struggling, could even entertain the thought of purchasing 50 Cent's masters. White went in hard, clowning Ross for allegedly selling his own masters, mocking the rapper's finances, and painting him as someone desperate to maintain an illusion of wealth. Man, you mean to tell me this fat boy done sold his own masters just to turn around and talk about buying 50 cents? Man, stop the cap. Charleston scoffed. His words went viral almost instantly, with fans, bloggers, and industry insiders all weighing in on the situation. Rick Ross, a man who prides himself on luxury, status, and the image of being a boss, was reportedly fuming behind the scenes. While Ross didn't immediately respond publicly, whispers in the industry suggested that he was not taking White's words lightly. Ross, who has built an empire off of his big money persona, couldn't afford to let someone like Charleston White challenge his status without clapping back. The question wasn't if Ross would respond, but how he would do it. Then, out of nowhere, reports surfaced that Charleston White had been ambushed and attacked by a group of men. Details were scarce, but White himself wasted no time getting back online, bruised but not broken, to let the world know that he had been jumped. However, he made it clear that he couldn't prove who was behind it. I ain't saying Ross did it, but ain't it funny how I clown him one day and get jumped the next? White said in a video, looking straight into the camera with his signature smirk. The internet exploded with speculation. Was this attack really a coincidence? Or had Rick Ross sent a message in a way that hip-hop beefs have historically been settled off the record in the streets? Many fans believed Ross was a mastermind behind the assault, citing past situations where rappers handled their problems with force rather than words. Others were skeptical, pointing out that Ross is too rich and calculated to risk his empire over Charleston White's trash talk. Without concrete proof, the situation remains in the realm of speculation, but the damage has already been done. What makes this situation even wilder is the history between Rick Ross and 50 Cent. These two have been enemies for well over a decade, constantly trading shots, lawsuits, and petty jabs. For Ross to be talking about buying 50's masters seems almost laughable, especially if, as Charleston White claimed, Ross had to sell his own just to stay afloat. The irony was too much for White to ignore, and his words cut deep. Ross is known for his lavish lifestyle, complete with mansions, luxury cars, and exotic animals. But if Charleston's claims hold any truth, the financial reality behind the image might be far less glamorous. Meanwhile, Charleston White isn't backing down. If anything, the alleged attack has only given him more fuel to continue taunting Rick Ross. In his typical defiant fashion, he took to social media again, making jokes about how whoever jumped him didn't hit hard enough, and questioning why Ross, if he was truly behind it, didn't come handle it himself. Man, if Ross got all this money, why gotta send some randoms to do the job? Come on, boss, be a boss. White laughed, clearly enjoying the attention and the chaos that came with it. Ross, on the other hand, still hasn't made a direct statement about either the master buying rumors or the attack on White. His silence is either a strategic move to let the situation die down or a quiet confirmation that he's not interested in denying what many already believe. Ross is a businessman first, and getting caught up in legal trouble over something as small as Charleston White's words would be a bad move. However, the hip-hop world has a long memory, and this situation is not one that will be forgotten easily. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Charleston White knows exactly what he's doing. He thrives on controversy, and every time he stirs a pot, he gains more attention, more followers, and more influence. Whether Ross was actually involved in the attack or not, The mere suggestion of his involvement has put his name back in the headlines, but not in the way he would have preferred. This situation is a reminder that in the modern world of entertainment, sometimes the loudest voice wins, and Charleston White is proving that once again. Will Rick Ross eventually speak on the situation? Will Charleston White continue to escalate the beef? And most importantly, will we ever get solid proof about who is behind the attack? For now, the answers remain unclear, but one thing is certain. This feud is far from over.